All right, I want to show you guys something new that has been updated in GoodNotes. This is kind of an experimental thing right now, but it is such a game changer and makes the typing experience in GoodNotes way better than anything you'll see in Notability. So let me just show you exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see up here, there are these two options to type. There's this text box option, and then there's this keyboard option. So this is experimental mode, and you can see it says this is called typing mode. And you can type and handwrite your notes comfortably in the same page with the new full page typing experience. So what that means is that you no longer have to use a text box to start typing like I am here. Instead, you can just go ahead and click on this typing mode, and now your whole note is full screen typing and you don't need to insert a text box. So this is more along the lines of something you would see in Microsoft Word, where you automatically just start typing on the page. You don't have to create a text box to type within. So what is really cool about this is that now you can start typing anywhere. And this can just be an app that you can use for general like Word document sort of tasks where you're just typing paragraphs or notes or anything like that. And you don't have to like move around and mess around with a text box here like I am here. Go ahead to click on the lasso tool and select it and then move it around, and that's such a pain. So you can now just directly start typing when you click on this keyboard mode, and you can directly start typing onto the page. Now, this is something that's been in Notability for a while. Let me see if my app has been updated so I can pull it up. Okay, it's still updating, but this is something that's been around in Notability for a long time. But what's better about GoodNotes is the fact that you can actually align your text. To sound so silly, it's like, why would this not be an option? And I don't understand why Notability hasn't released this as an option yet in their full screen typing experience. But basically what you can do here is if I click on this alignment tool, I can center it. I can do a right alignment or the typical left alignment. You can do either of these alignments, and that just makes things so much more convenient. It's like a way more useful app now that you can actually use it like Word. Plus, you can still use all the tools that you love for a note-taking app, like pens and erasers and highlighters and all that sort of stuff. And so this just makes it that much more of a robust tool. And this is something that I always wished that Microsoft Word for the iPad would be like, but it's just that their writing experience tools, their pens and their highlighters on Microsoft Word and their draw function is just so much more inferior than anything you can get in like Notability and GoodNotes that's why I always use these for my notes. So what I want to do now is see what happens with the full screen experience on a PDF. Now, if it's anything like Notability, it'll automatically default to a text box if you have a PDF. But let's go ahead and take a look. So right now I have this PDF that I've imported, and we have this slide about herpes viruses. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the full screen keyboard, and you can actually type on the PDF without a text box, which is crazy. I don't know if a lot of people will actually need to use this specific feature or not, but the fact that you can do it is incredible, because if you have a PDF on Notability, you cannot type on it directly over like this. It will automatically default to a text box. Now, you can still, of course, use a text box if you want to. So let's go to here because it's cleaner. All you have to do is click on the text box option, and you can see it automatically selected my default font and size and color and everything. So you just double click anywhere. You have this little text box. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want, but as you start typing, the text box gets larger. And then this is still useful if you just have like a small amount of text that you want to move in like a precise position. So of course this is obviously a great feature and it's still there. But now that you have this amazing typing experience, this typing mode on GoodNotes, it is almost a Notability killer. There's one last feature that I'm still waiting for GoodNotes to implement, and that is the ability to pinch out more to zoom when you're looking at a page. So in Notability, for example, let me pull this up. So when I'm like in any document in Notability or any note, I can zoom out quite a bit, and that gives me a preview of the pages that are below the page I'm looking at and the pages above. And that's really nice, especially when you have like a PDF such as this one, where if you wanted to look ahead during lecture at the slides about what's coming next, or you wanted to quickly look for something on a slide, you can see multiple slides at once instead of just like one slide at a time. On GoodNotes, that is not something you can do. So if you go back to this PDF here, if I zoom out, this is the most I can zoom out. So I can only see one whole slide at a time. And that's really frustrating when you're trying to find something quickly, or you're trying to preview what's going on ahead when you're in lecture or something like that. It's just such an easy feature that they could implement, and they haven't done it yet. So that's really frustrating. Now, of course, you can zoom out, but it doesn't hold it. And you can't even zoom out that much. If it could zoom out more, and if you could hold that, that would be such a better feature to have. And it's even on the regular notes, you cannot zoom out that much, and that's just really frustrating. And maybe there is some way in the settings to change that, but I haven't come across anything like that yet. And at the very least, it should be default, and it should just be a pinch to zoom, easy sort of step for anyone to use. Last thing, I'll just show you how Notability does typing right now. So here's a PDF. If I start typing on a PDF, see, it automatically defaults to a text box. But if I go to a blank note like this one, and I start typing, it automatically defaults to the typing mode, like the full screen typing mode that I showed you. But as I was mentioning, I cannot align the text. So you can see here, I am left aligned by default, and I click center, and it doesn't let you click center. If you want to align the text, you have to do it within a text box, which is pretty useless in my opinion, because most of the time there's not like a border around the text box anyway. But see, I typed hi here, I can type something else, and then I can align this text, but it aligns all the text. It doesn't just align the one line I'm on. GoodNotes, it will align just that one line you're on. You can see here that if I go back to typing mode, this is left aligned, this one appears centered, and I'll make this one right aligned just to prove my point. And now you can see that each line has its own alignment. Now, GoodNotes, in their text box too, whatever you align, the whole text box will be aligned that way. So that's just like a feature of text boxes, that they're assuming you want every line in the text box to be aligned the same way. But the fact that the only alignment in Notability is within the text box means that you can't have different lines have different alignments. So I can't have like this one be centered, this one be left aligned, and this one be right aligned. Because if I want to do any sort of alignment, it has to be in a text box, and they all have to be the same sort of alignment. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can see how important this feature in GoodNotes is. I hope that Notability introduces something similar in their typing experience, because it would just make things so much easier for all the users. And I hope GoodNotes now introduces this pinch to zoom out feature where you can zoom out a lot more. But let me know what you guys think about this typing mode. It is still an experimental thing apparently, but I really hope they just make it a feature, because it's working really well and it's just great. So they should definitely keep it around and make sure that it stays as a staple as part of the GoodNotes experience. This is why digital note-taking is so much more powerful than like handwriting notes or using just like Microsoft Word or something like that. These apps allow you to have so many customizations and features that you just can't do in any other sort of situation. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this new feature, and I'll see you in the next one.